Okay, welcome to Game 3 of the Small Games Finals. Chattateo versus Alipata. Chattateo is up 2-0. So everything here looks expensive.
This is I think, the kind of board where I just buy a bunch of sheepdogs and just completely lose because I don't know how to play. Well, Sculptor Sheepdog is kind of cool. Display Sheepdog also. Rogue. But nothing that really does it properly.
Alipata is doing a little bit of, I won't say mind games. It's first to get to 3.5 wins, right? So Alipata is saying good luck in the next 4 because they're hoping there'll be 4 more games because they win this one. If they lose the next 2, they're done. So that's what they're being hopeful. But you're right. I think I would go Sheepdog Sculptor here and take 1 curse, and then try to not take any more curses. But I could also believe in Displace as my first buy because I can displace the Cursed Gold into Sculptor.
Yeah, without any trashing, you really want to get rid of this Cursed Gold somehow. And Displace is the best way to do that.
And then
Puka trashes coppers, but there's no way to deal with curses.
Yeah, so I think you could displace a curse into a copper or something.
Which is so bad.
Yeah, it's bad, but you could trash it with Puka. You could thin it eventually. And then mission, mission will be good here. Because after I get my displace and my rogue, or my displace and my sculptor, I don't want to be buying a lot of things. I mostly want to be gaining things.
Yeah.
I'll probably go with the sculptor. Certainly gaining a bunch of silvers, and then you can get a puka and reliably draw with the puka and not have to worry about terminals. I think the problem is, you've got 4 cards in your starting deck that you want to get rid of. Cursed Gold and 3 Estates, and Displace is the only way to get rid of those. So
this was about the worst draw for Chattateo. Just nothing.
Yeah, I guess you take all the sheepdogs in this kind of kingdom. But, if you have too many too early, that isn't great. So, for 4, I get you could take the mountain villages. So I think, you give up that previous turn so you can get 2 nice things this turn. And Alipata here can get a silver and a mountain village. You can also get a sheepdog and draw with it immediately, which is a weird interaction, but it works. The sculptor gains a sheepdog to hand, and then the sheepdog reacts to itself being gained and draws 2 cards. So we'll see if that comes up here.
Yeah, I like the silver better than a sheepdog to get the villager. Because, it's nice. And sheepdog can just draw, knowing that there's nothing dead down there.
Yep.
Okay, here you replace the cursed gold, because you don't want more than 1 curse here. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and probably take a sculptor now.
Yeah, because they don't have one yet. Sculptor is great here.
Sculptor and Mountain Village.
Even if there's only Sheepdog and Mountain Village that cost 4 or less, they're both really good cards.
Yeah. I can see if they're going for a more money-ish strategy, taking the golds makes sense, but the Displace is also a little weird. The money-ish deck, I would think, would want Sculptor more. And they're also going for second Displace.
Well, Displace is nice with gold and province, right? You can displace province for gold and gold for province and get your golds back. But there's just better stuff to do here with Sculptor, Sheepdog, Mountain Village.
And 1 Puka.
Yeah.
You can also do a little bit of tricks with farmland. So do something like that. First 6 could be, instead of a gold, a farmland to trash. Do they have anything in their hand that they can trash?
Well, they displaced into a gold, so the farmland went.
Yeah. So But there's some tricks you can do with farmland. You can also normally displacing a province into a duchy is annoying because you can't displace the duchy back into province. But with farmland, you can do that. You can displace the farmlands back and forth. And Chattateo already going for the displace golden province line. So it looks like they're just looking to rush down golds and provinces with displace.
And they get 6 here, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Go back.
Alipata has nice draw here. They can gain the displace and the sculptor back. They shouldn't react probably with this sheepdog, but they can play both those cards and gain some nice things. Potentially, you pick up the displace, you displace the estate into another mountain village, you gain a silver with sculptor, and then you... this to me is a little bit questionable. This next shuffle for them is pretty bad. They're going to have a pretty bad next turn, I think. Maybe the quality of this turn makes up for it.
Okay, bank doesn't really make much sense. Although I guess.
I mean, but I would have just bought a province there.
Yeah.
And then splice it into a gold or a farmland or a duchy, whatever needs to happen. And here they'll be able to, Chattateo will be able to.
Bank gives you a lot of money, but you need the market first to use the money with the plus buy.
Yeah.
Even then, just a single province on this board is fine with displays, especially early.
Yeah, if that bank had been a province, if that bank had been in gold, they could have bought a 4 cost, you know? So it's not clear that bank is better than gold here in most turns. Yeah, if the bank had been a puka, then they could have drawn on and trashed a copper. And I still really, as both these players, want pukas. Although Chattateo didn't get the sculptor, so they don't have the villagers. Yeah, that what they just did makes sense if they're able to get another displace this turn, which it looks like they'll be able to. And I assume you'll take the bank. The other thing is the bank, if they're only using the bank to get to 8, I think a gold is mostly doing the same job.
Yeah, and it's more reliable, because if you draw a bank without any treasure, or with very few treasure, it's worse than gold.
Yeah.
And when it's better than gold, it's just getting you to like 10 or 11.
Right. In which case they would want a market, which is going to be a little bit slow to get to in this kingdom. But we see here if they had a gold instead of that bank, they still get to 8. And if they had a puka instead of the bank, they still get to 8. Yeah, 14 is the same as 8 here on this kingdom. Raid. Okay. Looking at raid, but it doesn't seem good. With a market, they do have the ability of mission, and the thing that's really important about mission here is you can still gain provinces with displaces. I think there's...
If you don't, you can just buy a raid to just put the -1 card token on the deck.
Yeah, there's at least something to do, but...
Yeah, it's worst case scenario.
For that reason, you would, for both these players, potentially consider getting the market.
Yeah. But the thing about market is it's just plus a card plus an action. So it could be bottom deck. It could show up randomly when you don't need it.
Yeah. So I would consider taking a gold here, displace gold into province, react to the sheepdog, and then go for mission. The second displace is hard to find a really good target for. Maybe they'll draw a target with the sheepdog here.
Okay. Well, if they displace both their golds, they'll have 2 golds less in this shuffle.
Yeah, but they've got enough displaces. They should be able to find displaces to displace into golds. I still think that you could, with mission... So the engine we're talking about with the puka, the sculptor, and the displace mountain villagers and sheepdogs, you get relatively thin, and then on your mission turns, you could do serious things like double province. So you're at a deck that could potentially get 4 provinces in a single turn plus mission turn.
So that was a weird turn by Alipata, where it displays Curse Gold to farmland and buy an estate. I don't think that was weird. I don't think they knew that farmland triggered
Yeah.
buy.
Well, I think it was weirder that Chattateo got the farmland, given that they have 2 golds on exile.
Yeah.
I would want to get those golds back. Although it looks like they maybe don't need to get them back. This, to me, here is a clear mission turn. I could see, like, mission is one of those cards that, like, you think, oh, I can't buy anything, so it's useless. And so sometimes you just kind of ignore it. Somewhat out of hand.
Sometimes it is ignorable, but just it's good so much of the time and you just don't realize.
Yeah.
Because even if you draw a turn where you can't use mission properly, it makes up for all those turns where it's really good. Like here, it's like take an extra turn, right? You're not gonna buy much for 2 coins, and you can displace.
Yeah, if we actually look at the buys, turn 12, Alipata bought an estate. Chattateo bought nothing. Turn 13, Chattateo bought nothing. Turn 13, Alipata bought a sheepdog. Turn 14, Chattateo bought nothing. So, like,
there's not much being bought here.
It is early on in the game. It's going to be bad, obviously, but in this situation, they can do really powerful things. And this is going to be nice for Alipata. They can displace into a province and react all the sheepdogs.
But they can draw dead actions.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't need to spend any actions if they used the sheepdog draw. I think.
Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong hand here. Okay, yeah, this is great.
So
If they played this place instead, they didn't have to use the actions, right? That's the point of sheepdog.
yeah, but certainly here there's a possibility that Alipata can win on their mission turn. They need to displace the bank into province at some point here. Probably they want to sculpt for a silver first. And then react to sheepdogs, and then displace some stuff into provinces, buy a mission turn, and hope to displace twice on their mission turn.
So they put a province in their hand, I think, to displace, or they can undo. Okay, so a farmland to province then, I think, is what they're gonna do to get the sheepdogs activated.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out how they actually win, how they get the triple province line. And I think they needed to displace province into bank. Sorry, bank into province and then province into bank. And then they've got 2 banks. And then on their mission turn, they can displace both the banks into provinces.
Yeah.
Although they can displace bank and farmland into province here. Yeah, they're actually 1 coin short of piling out right here.
Yeah.
But I think the mission is key. They can get two provinces in a mission, and then hope to find.
Then Chattateo just wins.
Yeah, but Chattateo's up by 16 points right now, so a lot of different interactions in this kingdom. Chattateo just wins. I think they have to be worried about Chattateo double provincing pretty significantly here. And I think what we're seeing is Alipata has found sort of this engine that we were talking about at the beginning, right? The difference is they didn't grab the puka, so they have all these extra coppers. But they built what is here a really strong engine. It just took them, maybe 2 turns too long to get it set up, so they're down MVP.
But yeah, I would have done basically the same thing, except with 1 puka and maybe some more sculptors to get silvers for your economy once the coppers are gone.
And then you start missioning a lot earlier. Because with the sculptors and the displaces, you really don't need to. Once you've got 2 of both those and the puka, you don't need to buy anything. Everything else can be gained in turn.
Only thing you buy is mission.
Yeah. And raid, maybe.
Yeah, just raid.
Maybe that's too many silvers. Because Because in that Sculptor deck, you have a lot of silvers. But I guess you're trashing them with Puka, so you're okay having extra. But it's not trivial to figure out what the best thing to do here for Alipata is. I think you just take the 2 provinces and hope the mission turn works out. We'll see if that's what they're going for. And I think it's worth noting again that the bank never did anything more than the gold did in the same situation. And in one situation, it was worse.
Yeah, it was worse once. It was the same every other time.
Which is one of the problems with the card bank. It seems really good, but actually it being better than a gold ends up actually being pretty rare. So obviously you can lead with the Mountain Village.
Sculpt for a sheepdog and draw.
Yeah, we'll see if they know that interaction. That's a really confusing interaction that you cannot know. Okay, you just can't know that from reading the card Sheepdog and Sculptor. If I was playing IRL with someone and they did that trick with the Sheepdog, I would cry foul. Being like, no, you can't. You gained it already. You can't react to itself. That doesn't make any sense. But that is how the cards work. And online, obviously, it's really easy to figure out. So they did gain a Sheepdog, and they can double react, triple react. No. Oh yeah, triple react is how that works. Unfortunately, they have to find something. Do they have something left that they can displace into province? Did we?
Well, they can displace a province into something and then play a mountain village to take it back.
They can displace a province into. They need a second displace though.
Yeah.
I thought they exiled their farmlands.
Yeah, last turn they did farmland to province, bank to province. They have nothing left.
So they could have displaced province to duchy. So province to farmland. No, that doesn't work. Province to farmland.
Yeah, bottom decking their other displace was really sad. And the silver.
I guess the silver doesn't do much.
Well, if they had the silver here, they would just buy the province. Oh wait, they have mission turns, so they can't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all SGG.
Yeah, they could displace a province into duchy, but unfortunately, they didn't find it. Yeah, they you see all this draw that they had. If they had gotten the Puka earlier, they could have thinned some of these coppers down and made it much easier to find. If they had 3 coppers here instead of 6. But unfortunately, Chattateo has the win in hand now. So I think Alipata played these last 2 turns pretty optimally, and their displaces were both near the bottom of the deck. And here they can get raid, which doesn't help them, but it potentially could. And Chattateo, after a long wait, has the win in hand. Lot of stress there. Yeah, Alipata had the absolute right idea there. And I think if they watch this game back, just a few minor things they could have done earlier. Overall, they built a better deck. So just a few play order things and buys.
Buying a Puka.
Yeah, I think that even if you only play it 3 times, then you draw a deck there if you play Puka 3 times, because you only had 3 cards left in your deck. Okay, that's through it for Chattateo. I'll see you in game 4.